What's up, everybody? It is me, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's husband, also known as IC Movies, with a brand new video. Now, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 movies for... Dude, I need to make a video! Just put in headphones! What's up, everybody? It is me, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's husband, also known as IC Movies, with my end of the year video, where I count down my top 10 movies of the year. Now, it has been a fantastic year for movies in 2018. I loved many of them, I hated many of them, mostly I loved them. Now, I can't wait to tell you guys what I thought were the 10 best of the year. It was really hard, but I think I figured it out. I think I figured out my top 10 of the year. Just remember, though, this is all my opinion. If you have a different ranking of 2018 movies, comment them down below. I'm interested to hear what they are. And also, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to hear any, then I will put timestamps for when all the reviews start in the description, so you only have to listen to certain ones that you want. Anyway, on with the review.
We're far from the shallow now.
I guess you could say Lady Gaga's character was caught in a bad romance. Haha. I cried a lot. I really did cry a lot. It was just... this movie really lived up to the hype. I loved every second. It was heartbreaking because I bought every performance and I was just so attached to these characters just to see them break and emotionally get vaporized. It was terrible. Not literally vaporized, but emotionally vaporized. It was speechless coming out of the theater from the immense heartbreak I felt watching it. The only thing I said coming out was that stupid joke. I laughed a little bit, and I began to cry again. This movie was beautifully shot, beautifully acted, beautifully written. The songs were also good, probably the only country songs I do like. The best part is, people say Roma is better than this. I don't know. I don't know. It can be, but I guess I'll have to find out. I wrote this before I watched Roma, actually, and Roma's not as good. It was great, but it wasn't as good as A Star is Born. Just, spoiler alert for my video. Roma's not as good. But it's still really good. Please watch it on Netflix. Yeah. A Star is Born was really good. I cried a lot. The ending scene, the ending shot was so beautiful. Really good. Especially, the chemistry between Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper was also great. I love that. That's it. That's all I gotta say. On with the next one.
Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow?
I am in pure shock from this movie, and I wish I saw it in theaters, but nope. I had to watch it with my dad while he was on his phone, texting the whole time, and then at the end he was like, man, that was pretty boring and confusing. Well, maybe if you just got off your phone for 10 minutes, you would know what was going on. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, this is really good, and I have a lot to say about the message of the movie, so buckle up. That's what we're going to talk about. I got two things from this movie. The first being, despite terrible things happening around you in life, it's best to enjoy the things you have with you right now. Don't worry about the future, don't worry about the past, don't worry about what other people are doing to themselves. Just worry about you. Worry about you in the now. And throughout the movie, Toller was lonely, sad, and dying. He feels constant torment looking at his former lover all the time, and his friends reminding him about his inevitable death. Some friends they are. At the end, he dreams about kissing Mary, filling the empty void in his heart just before he died. The second thing I got from this movie was about the religious point of view of climate change. They look at it like it's part of God's plan. It's just God killing the environment on purpose to restart life. Now, I know not every Christian thinks that way, but it's just like, the extremist version for this movie. Anyway, as I said, he's killing the environment on purpose, just like he did with Noah's Ark. As Ethan progressed through the film, he realized how silly that sounded, and especially after seeing how dangerous it was to him, all the children, and all the people in general actually living. And after Michael took his life to make room for the child, when Mary decided not to abort it. And he wanted to do something more about the environment breaking, but he couldn't, and everyone in the church was also against him. So he took the extremist route and decided he was going to blow them up to teach them a lesson and enlighten them like what Michael did to him when Michael shot himself in the head. The only reason he backed out was because Mary was in a church and he didn't want to harm her. So he had an epiphany and realized he could make a point without hurting anybody. Lastly, let me share my thoughts on the status of Tuller. I think he is dead. Definitely dead. When Jeffers came worried, realizing Tuller was late, he tried opening the front door to Tuller's home, but it was locked. So how could Mary be able to get inside? If his best friend couldn't get inside, how could he get someone like Mary to be in there? Also, I like to point out that when Mary and Tuller kissed, her hands were all over him, and not once did she acknowledge the barbed wire. If I was macking out with Ethan Hawke, no homo, and then I was like, my hands were all over him, I'll be like, stop. Why is there barbed wire on your stomach? And then we'd have that discussion. Even if he took it off, there would be dents in his body that would be very noticeable if touching. Lastly, let me say the ending shot. I'm sure drinking that kind of liquid will not instantly kill you. I think it was like floor cleaner or something. And of course it'll take a few seconds, maybe a few minutes, depends on how much you drink, then instant death. There was no cutaway, the song didn't even end. The movie just quickly stopped as if I turned off the TV. And that was a metaphor for his life ending, at least I think it was. Him kissing Mary was just his last happy thought before he died. And because earlier, after Michael's death, he was wondering what a man thought of before their suicide. He never really told the audience an answer. Well, that was the answer he came up with at the end. You think about a happy moment. This is a very important film in my opinion, and I urge you all to see it, especially because it made about $100,000 in the box office. That's really pathetic. It needs a lot of love. Please, Ethan Hawke, going for that Oscar. Thank you. Paul Schrader, going for that Best Director Oscar. Love you too. Also, one more thing. Why were the posters so unbelievably bad? Like, look one up and you'll know what I mean. It's outrageous. Anyway, go see First Reformed. It was really good. One of the most important movies of the year. One of the most important movies I've seen ever. Really good. It's in my favorites. On with the next one. This film, Blindspotting right here, needs to win Best Picture. It's not going to, definitely not. But I really want it to win Best Picture. I was so blown away with the third act, especially the last 15 minutes. Daveed Diggs, as I said in every other review, Ethan Hawke needs to win Best Actor. But I wouldn't mind if Daveed Diggs won too. He was incredible. I loved every second of his performance, especially the last couple minutes, as I just said. It was just so intense. I feel like the movie also did a great job at representing police brutality, unfair and biased racism, friendships, and of course, the importance of seeing someone in a deeper way than how they first appear to you. That's what Blindspotting means. Honestly, I don't know what else to say about this movie, but it was just incredible. If you've seen it, then you know what I mean. It's hard to explain what makes it so special, but you know what makes it so special. If you haven't seen this, please, what are you doing? Go watch this. Go watch this master movie. On with the next one.
All I'm trying to do is to help you find my daughter.
We need nothing from you.
So, Searching is really surprisingly good. It's like Unfriended editing done right. I was emotionally invested the whole time, and I cried during the first minute. I laughed during the funny parts, and I gasped during the many well-executed twists. What I like most about this movie is how, since it's through a computer screen, there's ads and websites you can put up there, and the director has a whole different story going on using ads and websites and pop-up articles. It's very interesting, and now back on the main storyline though. If you watch the film a second time, you can see that most of the information is actually revealed at the beginning, and throughout the whole movie. It's hidden in plain sight. They aren't really spoilers, but helpful info that pops up for a few seconds that you usually don't notice. But then they'll, trace back to it, and you'll see, oh, wait, they said that at the beginning of the movie. I just didn't even tell. Oh, so that's why that's that. That's why this is this. And also just a little appreciation for John Cho and giving one of the most intense roles that I could never do. Especially with, the little movement he has to have. He just has to put his face up in a phone, and he has to put his computer down and punch a wall. And it was I don't know, it wasn't much physical movement, but it's you know how Sally Hawkins in Shape of Water nailed her performance and she didn't say a word? Well, besides the singing part, but I don't count that. It's the opposite with John Cho. He barely moves, but it's mostly facial and verbal stuff, and he did a fantastic job. I completely bought his performance. John Cho, you're a real hero. If you haven't seen this, see it. And if you have, see it again. On with the next one.
No matter what, announcing who you are to the world is pretty terrifying, because what if the world doesn't like you?
So, Love, Simon hurt a lot. I know a lot of people don't really like this movie, but I am in love with Love, Simon. Much like Ralph Breaks the Internet, I related to the problems that Simon went through. Not the gay thing, you know, but losing all your friends because of some mistake sort of thing. It's not just like the relatable problem, it's the great acting and writing that blends together, and it just makes you hurt as much as possible. Anyway, the movie is fun, it's emotional, and it really makes you feel something. Please watch this. I don't know if you'll like it as much as I do, because I was kind of emotionally invested, and I saw it with my mom opening night, and the whole theater was really good, and we all had a blast watching it. I don't know, just kind of holds a special place in my heart, I guess. And I've read a lot of reviews, and gay people say that they take their homophobic parents, and their parents are more accepting of them. So, if you're gay, I don't know, even if you're not gay and your parents are homophobic, you know someone who's homophobic, take them, and their mind might change like the people in the reviews do. Maybe, maybe not, who knows? Worth a shot. This movie's great. Nick Robinson, I love you. No homo, though. I don't think he's gay in real life, though. Anyway, also, let me just say one more thing. Catherine Langford, yeah, okay, she was in 13 Reasons Why. I get it. The show sucks. It really does. But Catherine Langford blows me away in this performance. I love her. She's probably my favorite performance in the whole movie. She's adorable. She's really sweet. She's someone I'd want to give a giant hug to and just say, thank you for being such a great person all the time. So stop hating her because of 13 Reasons Why. You shouldn't hate an actor's performance or an actor in general because of what they did in other roles. Like, there's some actors that I love, but Punch Drunk Love, Adam Sandler. I don't hate Adam Sandler. I just hate his comedies. But I think I've seen Punch Drunk Love a while ago, and his performance was really good. Anyway, Catherine Langford, stop the hate. You should hate 13 Reasons Why, not Catherine herself. On with the next one. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the worst movie ever made. It's such a ripoff. My lights are glaring too much. Why are you glaring? Stop! Stop with this! Stop with that! And that! And Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is it's lies to you, because I tried to cling onto that wall after Miles Morales said anyone could be Spider-Man, and then I tried to be Spider-Man, but I couldn't cling onto that wall like Spider-Man could. This is a total ripoff. I've been lied to. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is not worth your time, not worth your money. You should go see Gotti in theaters instead. See Gotti, Amazon Prime, DVD. Don't listen to the trolls behind the keyboard. Listen to the real fans who gave it a 100% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. On to the next one. I really hate my lights. They're just... What are you doing? I really don't know what's up with them. Anyway, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That was really good. It's my favorite Spider-Man movie. It is in my top 3 animated movies of all time by the time I'm recording this. And my favorite part, of course, was the original animation style, to make it look like a comic book. I thought that was really creative. They did a really good job with that. I also like how they handled Miles Morales' character. He's nothing like Peter Parker, which is good. He tries to be like him at first because Miles thinks that you need to be just like Peter Parker to be Spider-Man. But over time, he realizes that anybody could be Spider-Man, and I really like how he learns that. And he gives this final speech at the end about how anyone could be a hero, and that's why all the Spider people are different. It's symbolizing how all heroes can be different, but they need to have one common trait, which is they all want to save humanity for the greater good. Let me also talk about the Spider people real quick. I loved all of them and how unique they all felt. None of them felt like a copy of the original Spider-Man. My favorite was Spider-Man Noir, Noir? I think that's how you say it. He was really funny, he had a great design, plus I could tell all the voice actors had tons of fun and put a lot of heart into their roles, especially Nicolas Cage. This movie was definitely worth seeing for any Spider-Man fan and superhero fan. It's an absolute blast. On to the next one. Never mind. 0 out of 5. It's not working. I hate life. On with the next one while I go kill myself. Ooh, I see movies. You're so good at making out. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Natalie Portman. Oh, hey guys, it's just me making out with my wife, Natalie Portman, because I love her so much. She's the best actress, and she's the best person ever to live. I love her. I love everything she's in. She just has fun with everything she does, and she clearly puts a lot of heart into her roles, which I admire. Plus, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Sorry, Mom. I think this is my favorite performance of her, because Vox Lux just had me stunned, mostly because of her and what her character meant. I really liked the message and how it was delivered, talking about using tragic events as an advantage for her publicity. At first, when she wrote the song, it was because how she felt after getting PTSD as a little girl from a school shooting, and it brought everyone together. Then in 2017, which is, I think, 7 or 8 years later, 17 years later, because it was in 2000. 17 years later, she just sang it because she's popular and it makes her enough money to buy drugs and mess up her already terrible life. I'm not 100% sure if this is correct, but that's what I got from it because a lot of celebrities are like that. Something big happens to them and they just use it as publicity or something, because all press is good press. Like, for example, fake beef among rappers or something stupid like that. Like, you know, what Kanye is doing on Twitter right now, talking about God knows who. Anyway, I think this is definitely a movie worth seeing. I love it so much. Natalie, I love you. I'm so glad I saw my first Natalie Portman movie in theaters, finally, and it was Vox Lux, which is now my favorite Natalie Portman movie. I love this movie, not as much as I love Natalie Portman herself. On with the next one.
Oh, this is breaking and entering.
I haven't broken anything.
The day has come, ladies and gentlemen. I talk about the infamous Paddington 2. It took a lot of begging, screaming, and crying in front of a YouTube audience to get me to see this movie, but I did it. And I'm very happy I did, because Paddington 2 is the perfect kids movie. It's great for children and adults to watch. For the children, it's about a cute and lovable talking bear eating a bunch of sandwiches and washing windows with his body, while the human performances still crack clever and hilarious jokes. For the adults, and still many children watching the movie, Paddington can teach a lesson about kindness. If you're kind to others, others will be kind to you. It's that simple. Paddington is always polite, even when a person is extremely rude to him. Then sometime throughout the movie, whenever Paddington is in danger or in need of help, the ones who were once rude to him realize he's a pretty nice bear and will come to his aid. Now, that's not what always happens in real life, but then again, not every character did help Paddington when he needed it, such as the 13th Doctor from Doctor Who. But still, most did, much like real life. This can teach kids that if they're nice to people, they will feel better about themselves and they will make new friends. Now, about the technical aspects of the film. Paddington looks adorable. He's got great CGI. I just want to hug him and squeeze him and tell him how much I love him because he's such an adorable little bear. And the cinematography and color palettes look really good. The colors pop out and it looks a bit cartoonish, but not on the level of like those live-action Dr. Seuss movies. It's less ugly. I also really liked the acting. Even if it's not top-notch, you can tell every character had a lot of fun filming the movie, so they all gave it their best, which I really enjoyed. Paddington 2 is a fantastic movie that anybody can really enjoy, unless you're heartless and you just hate babies. That's simple. And it teaches valuable lessons by a cast and crew that really care about the series. More children's movies should have this much effort put into them. They definitely should. Children need to see movies like this as a small child, rather than mindless kids' films like Minions or Peter Rabbit that do nothing for them but kill brain cells. I love Paddington 2. And I love you guys for helping me finally see Paddington 2 by making me cry and scream and and do everything and act like an idiot to get Paddington 2 from my mom's money and my mom's wallet. On with the next one. I love you guys. I don't know where to begin with Hereditary. How about by saying Hereditary, more like Hereditary, but because I cried out of fear in that theater. Get it? It was intense, uncomfortable, and I hated every second of it. But in a good way, though. I thought that the scariest parts about it were the performances, because they were scary good, but I think Toni Collette's performance, her and Alex Wolff especially did a great job at making a believable and scary movie. I don't know what words to use to make this movie sound as scary as it is. Just watch it for yourself. Unless you hate being scared, because you will probably not make it through this movie. I could barely make it through this movie, and I love horror. I couldn't sleep right for a week after this. I also probably had the worst theater experience, but also kind of the best theater experience, because I was in utter shock. I could barely move for most of the film, with my jaw open and tears running down my eyes. It sounds great, I know. I hated it, but in the best possible way. So far, no movie has scared me quite as bad as Hereditary. But scariness aside, the acting and writing were incredible. As said before, Toni Collette and Alex Wolff really carry this movie, even though everyone else did a fantastic job. And did you know Alex Wolff, when he slammed his head on the desk, he actually broke his nose? That's some real dedication. That must hurt bad. But let's just take a minute to talk about Toni Collette. I can't even begin to describe how good she was. She's won many awards for her role, and I hope she wins many more. The best performance of the year, and maybe my favorite performance ever. The dinner scene was the scariest part of the movie for me, because it just felt so real with the writing and her acting just combined together. Anyway, this movie was scary as hell. Actually, I'm sure hell isn't as scary as Hereditary, so please watch this if you're a horror fan. If you're not a horror fan, I highly advise you to stay away if you want to not mess up your sleep schedule. On with the next one.
No, there's no amount of money that'll make me do that.
Here's the starting salary.
Well, man, I'm gonna have to get me some new
Sorry to
suits.
Bother You is my second favorite movie of all time, and of course, my favorite movie of the year. I like it so much, I already made a video on it, but I just want to talk about it more in this video, because after my third viewing, I found there's more to get from it. If you didn't see my video on the film, then what I praised about it was the creative and fresh idea, with very surreal and cartoon-like characters, plus a giant twist I didn't see coming at all, but still surprisingly ties in with the message perfectly. The message for Sorry to Bother You is about big corporations treating workers like horses. You know the phrase, workhorse, and then Boots Riley pushes that serious message in a fun and quite literal way by turning the workers into actual horses. But I also like how that's not the only message. Let me explain on that. So, as I just said before, Sorry to Bother You is about how corporations are turning their workers into lifeless horses, and basically just treating them like slaves. But it's also talking about how it's not just the corporation's fault, it's also the workers' fault. In one scene where a character named Detroit showed her artwork about the horse person in public, one guy said that it could be a metaphor for how corporations are turning workers into horses. Then Detroit literally said, no, worry-free living is actually turning their workers into horses. And the guy just kind of brushed it off, despite Detroit telling them what's going on. And then that other scene where Cassius told millions of people on TV that people are being turned into horses with clear evidence, like video evidence, and the guy who's doing it, and he admitted to it, people still didn't believe it. This is saying how blind some workers are being, where they somewhat know that they're being used, but they're too scared to do anything about it, so they'll try to find excuses for it, or deny what's going on in front of them. This makes an unbiased standpoint. It's not siding with the corporations, and it's not siding with the workers either, because both are at fault. And I think that's a very smart way of tackling a serious situation. This is a must-watch. I cannot recommend it enough. And that wraps up my end of the year video. Thank you all for watching. You guys are amazing. I can't believe I've gotten this many subscribers. I can't believe I've gotten this many views, especially on my Santa Baby video. I got like over 200 views on that. You guys are amazing. I don't know what to say. I guess, yeah, thank you all for watching my end of the year video. It took a ton of time to make, and I've been working on this, I guess since the beginning of the year. That's when I started the list. But anyway, what's your favorite movie of the year? If you have a top 5 or 10, what's that? Is it anything like mine? If it's not, still, what is it? I'm curious as to know what you guys think of movies, I guess. I don't know. So So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me just say, I accidentally deleted this entire video off my phone, and I deleted all my recently deleted because I was out of storage, so I'm like, oh, I can just delete my recently deleted, but the whole video deleted too. So thankfully I saved it on my computer, and I had an ending, and now I have to make a new one because the whole video got deleted and I had to save it off my computer, and then because the lip syncing was like 10 seconds off, so I'm just gonna remake this last part. Thank you all again for however many subscribers I have right now, however many views I have total right now. I couldn't have done it without any of you guys. You're the best. I'll see you all in 2019. Happy New Year.